So today we're going to be talking about what's going on with Spotify, BMI, and I guess the general direction I think or feel that media is going. But first I wanted to talk about major goals I feel like I should put out there. Alright, welcome back. Sorry, it's been a while. The first of all, living off of my music. That's the goal. And it ties in with another one of mine, which is to move to Spain. Sounds stupid because I've never actually visited Spain. But I've fallen in love with it. The first time it really caught my eye was when I first played Tony Hawk's Underground. I think it was the second one where they go to Spain. And then I learned a little bit about it after that. But in more recent years, I came across this channel called Spain Revealed. And oh my God. After probably just watching a few videos, I was like, this place is fucking beautiful. I wanna experience this. And I feel like maybe there's a little bit of a connection there because my family is Spanish and native. I just picture myself hanging out like in a villa near the beach, making music, sipping like some coffee, espresso or something before I go into the studio or go out and shoot something. And one thing that's really amazing about Spain is the culture is beautiful. Unlike in America, unless you have like personal culture, like either ethnic or like religious or whatever it is, unless you have that, it's not really like incorporated into society unless you count like corporate culture. I forgot who said it, but I love the way they said this. The quote is, "In America, the culture will kill you." That's like corporate culture. The food, it's fucking poison. Plastic leaching into our foods and shitty FDA mandates. FDA is nothing but, it doesn't even like seem like a government entity because the way it's supposed to operate is it's supposed to do these things that protect the health of the public, right? But they don't do that because they are known to essentially take bribes to pass certain things, approve certain things, probably get rid of certain things. That's why herbs and natural remedies aren't FDA approved, because there's no profit in that. Sound like a fucking conspiracy theorist, but fuck that, dude. It's a fucking slur at this point. There's nothing wrong with exploring ideas, all right? Even if they're outlandish, they're fun to explore, is my main point. But I digress heavily. I was talking about Spanish culture. It's so different from us, too. The food is integrated, heavily Catholic, which is ironic because I'm not Catholic, obviously. I'm Buddhist, but I grew up Catholic. So I would have thought I would like run far away from that kind of thing, but it's not like something I hate or something like that, you know what I mean? It's the mythology is very interesting, and there was a long period of time where I was like really into it too. So figuring out like what my Spanish last names meant and like their connection to Spain was really cool. Thinking about it now, it does remind me, interest in Spain didn't just start with when I played Tony Hawk's Underground. It was really from early on, because I was born in California, grew up in New Mexico, and in Santa Fe specifically, we have a yearly thing called the Fiestas, where the parties, obviously, but it's a celebration about Spanish culture. It was totally whitewashed, but the older generations made sure to make sure the genocide and all that stuff was known, because the Spanish did some horrible things in the Americas before the colonizers did. But that's a topic for another day. We had one of the celebrations was something called Zozobra. This basically giant puppet would be placed downtown park, and everybody would go around it, and there would be like live music, native dances, stuff like that, and we would burn the Zozobra. Another one, it happens right around the fair, so the state fair starts in Albuquerque. I guess pretty popular thing. The only really thing that interested me was the art section and like the history. Some of the farm stuff, I always like that stuff too. And the food is fucking great. God damn. But we have the fair, and then in Santa Fe, it's like a parade, and then in the city center, they have like a bunch of vendors, food, performances, and stuff like that. And at that event, they have all of the Spanish names of the people who came from Spain, the conquistadors, and all the native princesses. They had all the Spanish names along the buildings and stuff. And my dad's last name and my mom's last name were always up there. And I thought that was really cool. So I think that's definitely where it started. Because a lot of that Spanish culture is heavily rooted in New Mexico specifically, but heavily in Santa Fe. But a beautiful place that I have kind of my eye on, that I want to visit. I don't know where I want to go first, like to take a trip, because I do want to take a trip. But one of the places I want to check out is San Sebastian. It's a coastal town. And then definitely want to check out Barcelona and Madrid. Spain also has like a lot of rural land and town, so I could still do like the homestead thing. I've seen olive farms for sale over there for like $100,000. Like, I don't remember how big it was, but it was well worth $100,000. In America, who knows what that would fucking go for. I did have some statistics up to share that were interesting. So this is from globalcitizensolutions.com. According to this site, cost of living in Spain for a single person, including rent, is above 100% cheaper than the USA. That's insane. You can enjoy a comfortable life in Spain with a monthly income of around $1,500 to $2,000. If you prefer living in less urban areas, you can retire with an income of $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Rental costs are approximately 134% cheaper than in the US. This is the median price. But 134% is a huge number. 1-bedroom apartment in Madrid city center costs around $1,100. That's basically what I'm paying for a 2-bedroom apartment in a rural town, hour and a half from Vegas. I can't imagine what the cost is for people in LA, New York. Like, if you just move to a rural place in America, you're so much more richer. There's so much shit going on now too that's just making the cost of everything going up. I paid $180. Well, just about $300 for 2 months of electricity where I live. And it gets really hot here, so it's mostly just running AC just to be comfortable. The winter gets a lot easier, but the fucking electric was killing me. Ugh, I could go on about Spain all day, but I don't want to rant. But if you get a chance, check out Spain Revealed. Spain Speaks is also a good one. He covers mostly news going on in Spain. Some really interesting shit. One observation I have made about the difference in governance and, well, the one common thing, a thing that's universal is governments seem to be incompetent everywhere around the world, not just America. Incompetent, corrupt, cowardly probably, because it continues to remain corrupt despite what these politicians claim to be good or on the side for the people or whatever. Now, I guess we'll get into Spotify. I thought this was interesting. It seems like a desperate move for sure, because it was combined with the decision to increase the monthly price of Spotify. So it went up like $1. And I saw people talking about how Spotify didn't see any pushback, so they're like, oh, we'll probably just increase it more. There's something definitely probably going on with Spotify. I think they're not doing well financially. Because essentially what they did was they changed the policy so that they can take artists' money. Pennies or not. It's corporate theft. This fucking happens all the time. A company just has to fucking change its policy. Policy doesn't supersede law. I'm gonna change my personal policy of paying taxes and just not pay those anymore. That's my policy. I know it's law, but my policy is I don't pay taxes to a genocidal and overbearing government. But what would happen if we did that? How many of us would get audited? And during COVID, they even ramped up auditing for middle class and working people. How fucking insulting is that? You could barely pay your bills, and a fucking IRS comes knocking to make sure that you're shaken down thoroughly. You know what I mean? Yeah, I grew up, adults telling me, I gotta lead by example. treat people how you want to be treated. Why were they teaching us these things when our own government authority figures don't even reflect that? Corporations able to take advantage, kill millions, steal millions, billions, trillions, and nothing happens. They get charged a little bit of their profit, won't even put a damage in things, and they're allowed to keep going. That one family who basically started the opioid crisis got off scot-free. How many personal lives were ruined because people became drug addicts because they said, well, they trusted their doctor. They said it would be safe. It would be okay. I don't know. Policies like this it reminds me of all that bullshit and the lengths that these corporations will go to just make another penny more. And it's not just a penny more. There are 100,000 songs uploaded to Spotify every day. Whether you get one stream or 2 or 3, you get paid for every stream. Even if it's a tenth of a penny, it still counts. When I first got my first, it was 10 cents. I was so fucking happy. I was like, I'm on my way. That's it. It's fucking... it's just 10 cents, but this is some money I've made from my music. It's like a common theme where the majority holds the power, but we're subject to a few entities that control the means of distribution. I don't know, it just seems like a money grab to me. YouTube did the same exact thing. First, the threshold. Then they decided that they could run ads on every video, regardless of you being on the ad share program. That, in a way, is theft. You're still going to make money off of the video and art that I do on YouTube. It has been really interesting, though, seeing this whole evolution of free market fucking websites and stuff like that. I remember when Hulu first started. I think I was in maybe freshman year, something like that. Had to be 2006, 2007. It was a free service. They had TV shows and movies and stuff. Very limited, small collection, but it was free. And you could watch them because they had ads in them. And they would cycle through, so you would have 1 or 2 episodes that previously aired, and then the new one would come out and they would replace it with that one, and you could continue watching what you were watching. It was a really cool system. And then they brought out the memberships. You had to sign up, and then they introduced the paywall. No more free TV shows, movies. And look at what it's become now. Anybody else remember Google Video? YouTube's competitor. That's where I first saw Waking Life. Great fucking film. Alright, BMI. So, BMI is increasing their take by 5%. So they're just basically charging you more money to collect your royalties. And no added benefits. Don't really have anything else on. I think I've spoken a lot on that. But I thought it's really interesting because recently streaming services and stuff were forced to increase their rates. So I think this is probably a response to that. These companies either aren't making very much money or they want to keep the money that they're making for themselves, if not a little extra. This perpetual, fiscal growth is dangerous for the world. It's unsustainable. It's why so many people are fucked in the head, depressed, mental illness and shit. This shit never stops. We have to constantly keep feeding the monster. Day in, day out. And then you have the compounding problems of people just struggling to get by every fucking day. Not just working class, lower class people, but the homeless, the fucking mentally ill. But there are people who need a lot of help and they're not getting it. And the problem is, I think people are the problem. We become tired, jaded. We become just bitter because all the bullshit that we've been through, how we were treated in the job profession or whatever we're doing, the corruption around us, the moral ambiguity of shit, decisions that people, corporations make. It's all just a mess. And we gotta figure out a way to make it better. Because the money is corrupting it all. Not just money itself, but the desire for it. These politicians passing laws for the favor of corporations or corporate profit, despite the humanitarian effects it would have or won't have. Our focus should be primarily to progress our society, right? And humans, I don't know if they can be trusted to not be overly emotional about things and do things in spite of people. I think AI is maybe a way out, maybe a helping hand. I don't know. On to another topic, Distrokid. They're making moves. And it's really fucking awesome because they're my distributor. So they recently partnered with TikTok and CapCut to basically allow independent artists to have their songs licensed. But that's pretty fucking huge. I feel like things are moving in an overall independent direction. Like how YouTubers are basically their own production studio, production company. But I think the general direction is independence, like, and community, maybe. Enough with these huge monopolies that just have control over everything. Look at the disaster of what fucking Star Wars was. Some would argue now. I don't think it's a good idea for any like one company to have like major control over like production, whether it's food or media. It becomes very one-sided and asinine. You gotta have different perspectives from different walks of life. It's very important. We're a melting pot, and we gotta learn how to live amongst each other. That's about it. Doing more streaming on Twitch. So if you want to see me make some music, you want to listen to some records with me, watch me play some games, check out my Twitch. Haven't been playing any games lately, but I'm focusing a lot more on making music and streaming. Like I said, I want to live off of my music, so I gotta start doing more, which is one of the reasons I'm doing the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening, make sure to follow. And yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace.